welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the closing action on the D Street. Also, what has really, panned out in terms of trade today, in terms of the sectors move, the stocks that have been buzzing the most, and how are experts really looking at the entire market trade setup and where do they really see fresh opportunities of buying emerging for you as an investor. All of that will be the focus of this show. But first up, a quick look at how the markets are trading in terms of the benchmark indices, the Nifty and the Sensex right now. Look at the Sensex, it's 170 points up in trade right now, almost at the higher point of the day, 60,826 as the current level. The Nifty is also in the green now, about 22 points of an upside is what you can spot. It's hovering near 17,900 mark odd, 0.1% higher in trade. So what's contributed to this pull back into the green in today's trading session? Well, the broader markets, if you look, the mid and the small caps, there is still a subdued move as far as the small caps are concerned. The mid caps have flattened out completely in today's trade. India VIX has slipped about 4% odd at 13.03, so the volatility is lower as well. In terms of the sectors, there's a mixed action that you're spotting right now with more losses. But, some of the inching up has happened apart from the IT and the media stocks that were up throughout the trading session so far. Slight gains are coming in on the financial services pack, and perhaps that has really led to some recovery in the Nifty Bank as well, which has the higher weightage. And perhaps that could be one reason why the markets have inched up higher too. Some of the heavyweights like Bajaj, Twins, Reliance Industries really contributing to this recovery in the markets right now. But still, losses being seen on the metals pack, that's down by 1.7%, realty pack down by 0.5% decline for the pharma pack as well, and the auto space as well at this point in time. Also, in terms of the gainers and the losers, if you spot HDFC Life, SBI Life, Bajaj Twins, Induslnd Bank, Asian Paints, these are the contributors in terms of the Nifty gainers today. On the losing side, you do have pressure that still persists on the Adani Group stocks after that MSCI review report has come about. Adani Enterprises down by almost 10%, Adani Ports declining by 3%, Hero MotoCorp, Cipla, JSW Steel, some of the pressure points in the markets. But time now to welcome our guest for the day. We do have Mr. Nadeem joining in. He's the CEO of Epic Research. Mustafa Nadeem joins in. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. First up, your thoughts on the overall market setup and how are you looking at the trade right now?
Good afternoon, everyone. So currently what we are seeing is we have seen the recovery in the market, and it's good that Nifty is holding above 17,750 level. So I see till when 17,750 level is not broken, we can be bullish on the market, and we can see in the coming days target of 18,300 coming for the Nifty. But since all the news has been discounted in the market, so now the move would be result specific, sector specific going forward.
Okay.
Because we have gone through all the news cycle which has been discounted by the market. So going forward, what I see is there would be a good movement in the financial services sector. The banking stock should be on the radar. And I think the infra stocks also should be on the radar because the kind of capex planning has been done. So infra boost would be there surely. So infra stock should be also on the investors' radar going forward.
Okay. And how are you reading through the developments in the Adani Group stocks? We do remember that last week was a free fall of sorts for all the stocks right there, considerable amount of wealth destruction. But in the last two trading sessions, about a 50,000 crores. And, we did see a market cap recovery also for some of the stocks right there. But again, today we did see overnight MSCI report coming in that they're going to be considering the free float right there. So, and we are awaiting that decision that may happen tonight as well. How are you looking at these developments, and what would you really advise investors to do at this point in time? Because I believe in the last two trading sessions when about a 30% recovery came in on Adani Enterprises and Adani Ports as well, most of the investors were looking at an opportunity to buy again, thinking that perhaps the dust has settled on the entire issue. What is your take?
See, this is the good point. Like the MSCI review is there today. So the free float, they've given clear indication that the free float would not be considered. Adani shares free float would not be considered. So I think the investors and traders should stay away from the stock, those who have not taken position in the stock currently, because there would be a lot of dust, more dust to be settled in the Adani group. But as far as those who have taken the position when there was a sharp fall, so I think this is a good exit opportunity for the traders and the investors, because they've seen an upside of 30 to 40% from the lows. But again, there should be cautiousness going forward in the Adani stock, because other than MSCI, also like Adani Wilmar today, there was news, although it turned out to be good news that the stocks have matched and it has again bounced back. But overall, there would be a lot of scrutiny going forward in the Adani stock, and the advice is to remain cautious towards Adani Group shares, and those who have entered at the lows can take this opportunity to exit the stock going forward.
Okay. In terms of specific themes, you did mention that banks are somewhat looking positive, and that is a sector that one should look at. What about the recovery in the IT space? I mean, this sector has been a big underperformer in 2022, but incrementally we are seeing some bounces right there. Is it the right time to look at fresh opportunities to get into the sector?
Yes, IT sector overall, the setup is very strong. And what we have seen is there was a lot of negative news flowing in the IT sector, which led to the downfall in the stocks. But overall, if you would see the fundamentals of the sector, the support of dollar index, I think the IT sector would rebound soon, and we may see some good opportunities in IT sector. And I would say the investors should look towards the mid cap IT space going forward, because they have corrected in a big way, and also their setup is very strong. So I think in the mid-size IT companies also the recovery would be far quick. It would be quick as compared to the leading IT stocks.
Okay. Apart from the IT space, the one space that's again back in news is the new age tech stocks. At least from the last 2-3 odd sessions, we have been seeing most of these stocks showing some kind of a bounce. Even today, if we see all of them, including Paytm, PB Fintech, Nykaa, and also Zomato, all of them have been showing some upside. Of course, some of them have been reacting to the results that have already been posted, like Paytm, for example, turning EBITDA positive ahead of its own expectations right there. Zomato is trading higher ahead of its own earnings. There were indications on Twitter from the CEO as well that they are also working towards their profitability. Now, this space also has gone through a lot of volatility, roller coaster ride in 2022, wealth destruction for a lot of investors. But are we now seeing some incremental signs that some of these stocks actually can be looked at fundamentally also if things are improving on the results front?
Yes, it seems like if you see the result, there are clear indication that the companies are now focusing, instead of cash burning, now they are focusing on the profit side and the core business side. So this has given the confidence to investors that things would be changing in the new age stocks, and the kind of results they are posting and the kind of guidance it is giving. So it seems that there would be revival, and also the valuations are quite cheap at current level. So these are bound to give good returns to investors going forward. So we can again see some 10 to 12% growth in new age stocks like Nykaa, Paytm going forward.
So which is the pecking order in which you prefer some of these new age tech stocks?
So my first preference would be Paytm, then Nykaa would be there, and then Zomato would be the third in the list to look after the
Okay.
growth.
Okay, understood right there. How are you looking at this, recent bounce in the metals pack? Today there's some profit booking, but we have been seeing, the China reopening of its economy and China looking at, again becoming a buyer of some of these commodities. Is metals also looking attractive from a fresh buy perspective?
See, metals again. This is a cyclical business, which where metals turns up, and any positive news from China leads to some good movement in metal sector overall. But I think that would be limited to a certain point, and we cannot expect a huge gain on the metal sector, because the overall the manufacturing activity from China, we have to see the numbers before metal. We take our view on the metal stock for bullishness.
Okay, understood that. Your own sense, Mr. Nadeem, any particular stocks that you are keeping on your top radar right now where you believe there can be substantial returns that investors can bet on for?
Yes, I have two stocks in my mind. One is ITC and second is Titan. So Titan about 2480, it looks very strong, and we can see level of 2600 in Titan going forward. And again, ONGC at 143 level, it looks very strong, and we can see 151 level of 151 going forward in ONGC. So these two stocks are on my radar. ITC also looks very the current breakout which has been given. So it seems that it may continue the upward movement for some time.
Okay, one more stock that I want to discuss with you, and that is Bharti Airtel after the earnings as well. You know, Q3 net profit here jumped 91%. Most of the brokerage houses also released some positive reports after the earnings. From the telecom basket, Bharti Airtel, how do you look at right now? I mean, the stock is still subdued, about 1.2% down, despite posting a 91% surge in the consolidated profit. Your thoughts?
See, Bharti Airtel already we have seen a lot of action when government decided to change the debt into equity, SGR debt into equity. So we have already seen a lot of movement, and again these numbers have been discounted. So going forward, we can see a rally of 4 to 5%, but
Okay.
beyond that, I do not see much of rally in Airtel going forward.
All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up at that. Thank you so much, Mr. Nadeem, for being with us on this show. The market's still buoyant at this point in time. 150 points of an uptick is what you can spot on the Sensex right here. Looks like we are going to have are headed for a green close. The Nifty also inching up higher, 25 points, although it's just flat with a positive bias. But 17,900 or thereabouts is what we are looking at the Nifty to be looking at for a close. We are just about 8%, 8 minutes away from the closing action as well. Broader markets are not really participating. It's the index level that you're looking at as positively, but some of the heavyweights and some stocks here and there are definitely looking to this positive action, which are into leading to this inch up in the rally on the index level as well. But we'll wrap it up at that. Many thanks for joining us on Business Today TV, but do stay tuned on to Business Today TV, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, you can stick with us via our other social media platforms, that's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram, if you want to catch up on all the news flow from the world of business and stock markets. Many thanks.
Thank you very much, Nirmala ji, for joining us here at the India Today, Aaj Tak, Business Today, post-budget roundtable. I want to start by asking you about the superwoman. You know, when you see yourself in